Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm your Anna, and in today's video I will show you how to create an eye-catching northern lights like this in your coloring pages using Neocolor II crayons. Neos are one of my favorite coloring supplies, and this is actually the second video in the series I'm working on, all about how to use these awesome water-soluble crayons in your art. If you are into mixed media coloring or just curious about how to make your skies glow, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next part full of helpful tips and techniques. Alright, if you are ready, let's jump right in. Since at the moment I'm not working on any specific coloring page with a sky vast enough to demonstrate you the technique, I will use this piece of paper that I already covered with midnight blue acrylic paint. I have found that this technique works best on acrylic background, and it's most probably because acrylic paint, once it dries out, there is no risk that you will reactivate the pigment or you will, move any media stain the paper. It also feels the tooth of a paper quite well, so the surface of the paper is rather smooth, which helps the brush to do its work that you will see in a moment. If you already colored your sky using different medium than acrylic paint, don't worry, because you can, use a kind of fixative to seal the page to make it water resistant and to smoothen out the surface. Once the background is set, let's grab our Neos and have some fun. Finally. Northern lights often stretch across the sky like a soft flowing veil, or they curve like a ribbon. So I will use a soft and slightly curvy intentional strokes just to sketch out how I want the lights to look on my page. This soft line will become the bottom line of my aurora, and now I will work on building up the layer of pigment. I'm not trying to make the line wider, I'm just building up the layer of pigment. I want to apply as much pigment as possible. As much pigment as, the paper will accept. And to make things more interesting, I will also add, different colors, because we are in a coloring world and it deserves some degree of fantasy. Once the base of my aurora is ready, I will draw light rays shooting up from the base upward, and I will keep the thickness and length of these rays rather irregular to mimic the organic flow of northern lights, But there is one thing I will try to keep consistent, and it is the angle the light rays are shooting up from the base. So I will let's keep more or less 90 degrees angle. You can do it, more leaning towards left or right. It's not important. What is important, that if you choose this angle, just keep this angle the same when you are sketching these light rays. So don't do them in this direction or in this, but in this. Just in case I'm confused you. If this is my base of aurora lights and I choose the light rays to shoot up in this angle, I want to draw all the light rays going in this way. So this is correct. What would be not correct is that if I drew few light rays going this direction, then change into this direction, then switch another angle into this. So this is wrong. But you can, choose the angle that light rays are shooting up from the base. One last note, when I'll be sketching those light rays, I'll be changing the colors of the crayons to make it more interesting. So here we go. Once our northern lights are sketched out, it's time to activate the pigment. And for this purpose, I will use a thin makeup brush like this. I will squeeze out the excess of water. And now, why I use a makeup brush, a thin makeup brush like this? First of all, because it's super easy to align it with the curvy baseline of my aurora, and second of all, its bristles are super dense, and what it means that it will really it's super efficient with activating the pigment, and it's super efficient in terms of managing water that is already there in the bristle. I can feel on the tip of my fingers that the brush is damp, but it's not overflowing with water, and that's exactly what I want. I want a sense of control and not a watery chaos. If you do not have a makeup brush like this, you can try to go with a regular flat paintbrush like this, but from my experience it is more difficult to manage the water in case of these brushes. But try on your own. I have only amateur grade paint brushes, so if you have any professional brushes, they might be quite okay for this technique. But apart from this, I really cannot recommend enough having a basic set of makeup brushes when working with Neocolors. 90% of time I'm coloring with Neos. I use makeup brushes to activate them because I have found that they are the best kind of brushes to activate the pigment if I want to achieve this smooth pastel-like blend. That being said, let's activate the pigment here and let's see the magic unfold. Now the first layer is activated. I will start applying the second layer using exactly the same crayons I used for the first one. Only this time I will not activate the pigment. I will use Neos as regular crayons, and the reason for doing so is that once you reactivated the pigment on a page and you touch it again with a brush that has already some more water in it, you risk lifting up part of the pigment, and you know that can do the effect with glow, and I want to enhance it. So now I'll be playing with Neos, sketching even more light rays shooting up. Let's get started. And finally, to smooth out the grainy crayon texture that you can see in the paper here, I'll be using a blending stub to get rid of it. It softens everything beautifully and it makes the glow look more natural and seamless. I feel like enhancing a little bit the bottom part of our Northern Lights, and I will do it using my favorite white Neo 2 crayon. take a Q-tip and dip one end in water. I want to make sure it has as little water as possible. And now I'm trying to, clean after myself a little bit. So in the places where I smudge accidentally crayons, I want to remove this mess, and I will use the other end, the dry end, to get rid of excess of water. It's also helping me to improve the curviness, because when I was sketching those ray lights, I used too much of straight lines and it had negative impact of this natural organic flow of line. Okay, almost there. I love working with Neos because there is nothing you cannot fix, even if you make a mistake. So don't stress out when working with Neos. Go with the flow and have as much fun as possible. I'm slightly activating also those new layers. You can, play and play with adding more layers and blending them out until the point that you are satisfied or exhausted. And this is how my northern lights look like. Let me know in the comments how you like the process. I always love hearing your thoughts and reading your comments. If this video sparked your creativity, please consider supporting the channel by liking and subscribing. It really helps. Since a few days, you can also buy me a coffee to support my low blood pressure as it meets all the creative challenges ahead. But first and foremost, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye, happy coloring!